This week, we switch gears as we speak to an individual who deals with matters to do with learning and development in the whole country. And he has also worked in quite a number of places, so he has so much knowledge to share with us. And he looks sharp, and he's young, something else. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for making time to speak to us. It's a pleasure to have you on set.
Anytime.
So you'd have given me the memo. I just dress as you have, but it's fine. It's fine. So let's get to hear your official names first of all, and what exactly you do.
Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Steve Obwogo. I am the education manager, the national education manager for ACCA Global here in Kenya. ACCA is a global accountancy and finance qualification in a membership body. So we do have presence in 101 countries, and we support students and members in 178 countries globally. And in Kenya, of course, we have students, affiliates, and members who we support through with the qualification.
So the fact that it's an international organization and you're the national education manager, first of all, says a lot about your profession and who you are as a person. So what exactly do you do in ACCA?
Okay, so at ACCA, my job is all matters education.
Yes.
So if I would break it down, I'm the one who is in charge of all matters student progression from the day they register as a student to the day they become a member of ACCA. That involves a lot of work in terms of when they do their exams, how they do their exams, whether they pass or fail, and whether they do their ethics and professional skills modules, whether they get their relevant experiences, and after that entire journey they become members of ACCA. So that's the first thing. The second thing also revolves around dealing with regulators. So as education manager, I'm in charge of liaison with the education regulators in Kenya.
Yes.
So the Commission of University Education, the Technical and Vocational Education Training Authority, the Kenya National Qualification Authority, as well as all stakeholders in the education framework in Kenya. And also my other job is to ensure that all the tutors and the lecturers are trained, because we do offer, our processes are such that all the lecturers have to be quote unquote approved before they can teach the ACCA program. So that also sits in my docket. I also monitor the performance of the ACCA qualification in the country. So if students are not performing well, it is in my docket. As well as dealing with all the learning providers. So some of our learning providers are like Strathmore University, KC University, USIU, Oshawa College, Excel Global College. So all matters quality assurance, or dealing with all of those stakeholders sit in my role. So majorly that is what I do at ACCA, besides advising our global office on matters education with reference to Kenya. So
it's a really broad field, and you do so many things. So I'm sure people are wondering, what exactly did you do in campus? Because you've mentioned quality, you've mentioned interacting with the government and other stakeholders. So what exactly did you do in campus?
Okay.
Yes.
So I graduated in 2014
yes.
At Kenyatta University, having done my Bachelor of Commerce with a specialty in Human Resource Management. So that is officially what I did as a qualification. Yes.
And now, while we are at campus, let's get to understand, how was the, first of all, the campus experience for you? Because I'm sure you look like an arts person, so you might have had some interest in something else which wasn't what you were studying. So let's get to hear what your campus experience was like. Okay, so
when I began my studies as a first year, I wanted to become an accountant.
Yes.
Yeah. Fate had it that I'm going to work with the accountancy qualification body, but I wanted to become a professional accountant. So I began with my professional accountancy exams, and then as I was doing my BCom, somewhere in second year,
yes.
I just couldn't resist the attempt to go on stage. So because when I joined one of the associations in campus called ASA, the Accounting Student Association,
yes.
so I wanted to become an accountant. I kind of stumbled upon marketing as a role in the club, which was very interesting, where we would speak to people to join the association, and then when their activities for the association, we would market
create
them.
awareness.
And then I asked myself, why can't I be the person who determines what is done in this club? So at second year, I became the chairperson of the club.
Yes.
Which was not the norm, really. Then that is when I realized a whole new world of things, because when I ventured into leadership, and then that is when I realized that there's a different side of me, which is I realized I'm a people's person. So I would, while on the stage speaking to my members, that is what I just wanted to do forever.
Yes.
Because I was into public relations, and I was into coaching, mentoring, supporting people. And generally, my members were happier when I was the chairperson.
Yes.
So that is how my perspective changed. And then when it was time to specialize at third year, I said, let us do human resource management, because I had this thing with human capital management.
Yes. So now, from starting your own company while you were still in school and eventually transitioning outside, how was that for you? Did you get a job immediately, or did you have to maybe struggle a bit before you got your first job?
Okay, so you mentioned something which is very interesting about human capital,
Yes.
which is by far the most important capital you can ever get around.
Yes.
Because they do say that today, if you want to speak to the president of the Republic of Kenya or the president of the United States, you just need 6 contacts.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll get to speak to them. So that is the power of your networks. So as the same would come to be for us, immediately we were done with campus. Even while still in campus, I think we turned our relationships with organizations to our immediate customers. Because the thing with KU is the fact that it offers so many platforms and opportunities for you to do so much that if you just take advantage of them, then you can leave the university driving if you want to. Though driving is not the sign of success, but you can literally leave this university with a job or with a business or with whatever it is, because there's just a wealth of network around.
Yes.
And if you use that capital of being a student, you can knock onto any door and they will open. I kid you not. As a university, probably that was the time when I spoke to very many high-profile people in the country. So that capital for us is also what landed me my first job.
So from being the education officer up to where you are today as a national education manager, how did that happen?
Okay, so I joined ACCA in September of 2015.
Yes.
And then in March of 2016, there was a vacancy of an education manager, and my then country manager and my line manager also just asked me if I was interested in the opportunity, which I said yes to. But if you ask me why that happened, again,
yes,
it is a question of your human capital. I call it your social capital.
Yes.
So if you are in an organization, you need to ensure that you are seen to be working and also known to be the guy who gets the job done. Yeah. So once people know you for something, and once you have relationships across all levels,
yes,
then it is not rocket science for you to rise through the ranks. Because once someone knows that this is the guy who gets things done, but most importantly is he has goodwill across the various levels.
So let's cross over now and talk about the achievements that you've had. First of all, the badge. I don't know if we can see the badge on your right side, right? So it's a badge of honor, right?
Yes.
So what does it stand for?
So we have 4 values. So what I was awarded for, so every quarter the organization asks for nominations for its employees who have exhibited in various forms or another this kind of values. in ways that touch the entire organization as a whole. So this was an award given for innovation, where I came up with a project which I did successfully in Kenya. It was adopted by the entire Africa. So that is why I was awarded the ACCA Top Hat Award for Innovation.
Yes. How about your other achievements?
My other achievements, as an individual, I think some of the things which I'm proud of are not necessarily achievements, because I am proud of the fact that I actually took to school 2 of my siblings, and they finished their tertiary education and university education. That is a very big achievement for me as an individual, besides other things. So at ACCA, I've been an employee of the month that I've got that award at ACCA. I've also been a nominee for several awards, like the Exemplary Leadership Award with KUSA. Also at ACCA, I've been nominated for other awards. I can't remember them.
Yes.
Somewhere on my profile.
So there are a number, but we thank God.
Yes, there are things I've done which humanity thinks that are good things.
All right.
Yes.
And I think something else that people need to understand, you've mentioned social capital. So there is what you need other than your academic knowledge and the degree that you've had from school. So for your field specifically, what kind of skills do I need, hands-on skills, to be able to flourish in such a profession?
So for me, the things which stand out, your emotional intelligence, as well as your creative ability, and your awareness about technologies and what's coming about, where the future is going, would put you in a different place altogether, regardless of whichever career it is. Yes,
it's a very good work that you're doing. Now let's talk about the education sector in Kenya. I mean, without, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it has faced so many challenges, from strikes to new policies being introduced, and the fact that you have worked with in the education sector and with the government and all these other stakeholders, what are the issues you think need to be addressed and dealt with when it comes to the education sector in Kenya?
Okay, so to begin this, just to ensure that I'm not misquoted. These are my personal views and not the views of my employer. That's where I need to begin. And I'd like to begin with what Nelson Mandela once said, that I'm just quoting him out of context. He said that the only equalizer is education. Looking at my life from primary school to secondary school to university to where I am today, I never dreamt of being where I am today. Education is truly the equalizer. And if you want to mess up a country, you simply mess up its education. If you mess up its education, the quality of doctors, the quality of lawyers, the quality of judgments, the quality of buildings, the quality of everything goes down. Thanks to you downgrading the education system. So if someone wants to attack a country, you don't go for its mines, you don't go for its oil wells, you simply go for its education. Because once you mess it up, everything else is messed up. And with that said, I think our education system has been under attack. I don't know by who. But it is, pardon me, our education system has been under attack, and it's so sad to see the universities not doing what they're supposed to do. Universities used to be places where great ideas and fantastic pieces of research used to come from. Today, who is the greatest producer of research? It's the employers. Employers are now doing more research than universities. And so what I'd like to say is, it has been a mess, but going back to what the current CS of education said when he was being vetted, he said that we should have done this a long time ago. We should have addressed our education curriculum, which is to introduce competency-based education, which is, I think, a good place to begin from, where people go into careers which they probably began at an earlier age. And also the thing where I would encourage universities to work with industry a lot.
Yes.
Because if institutions of higher learning work with the immediate consumers of their products, then it becomes very easy to address the thing to do with quality, to address the thing to do with the gap. You've heard of this phrase, universities are producing half-baked graduates.
Yes.
So why not work together? If you're an employer and you're in the university, you're in the training business, work together. And that is what we do as a CCA. Before we set any exam, we sit with employers. We ask them, so PwC, KPMG, tell us, you need an auditor. What do you need from an auditor from a skill perspective? Fantastic, thank you for that. University, there's this professor who is doing research in auditing. Let's bring all of this together.
Yes.
Then put in an exam. By the time that student does that exam, he's prepared. He's going to get into workplace and he's going to be ready to go. And that is actually what we have done by ensuring that we're doing computer-based testing, where students are being tested by the computer. So if someone is going to do forensic auditing, for example, why does he need to be doing a written exam? It is not relevant to what he's going to do.
True.
So I think to address all of this problem of education, stakeholders need to come together. And there have been very good development in the country. The establishment of the Technical Education and Vocational Training Authority, for example, is a step in the right direction. The move by the government to establish the Kenya National Qualification Authority, again, is a move in the right direction.
Yes, that is a lot we actually need to consider as a country. And what of maybe the things which should be introduced? So something to do with big data, maybe, that how can we maximize on that in the education sector?
Yeah, so thanks for that question. It still borrows the leaf from what I just said about all of us working together.
Yes.
When the industry works with universities to address the thing of the curriculum, so that when you're developing the curriculum, when people are being taught communication skills in the university, for example, that's a unit I did, UCU 101, episode 100. When you're being taught communication, how is it being taught? Get my point? Are you bringing in communication companies who have specialized in communication come in to help you develop the curriculum, and at some point even doing lectures in classes? And then the cost of training also becomes lower. Yeah, because that research budget which organizations have, let's bring it and do it right in the universities. Let's work together. And then that will address a lot of, because the fourth industrial revolution is going to come with a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
And if we are not ready as a continent, I was reading a piece by the World Economic Forum, and they were saying that they're concerned about Africa not being ready for the fourth industrial revolution. What that means is we are going to see so much advancement in technology.
Yes.
But we are going to be just a pawn in the equation. We are not going to benefit as we should. So as a continent, as a people, we need to take advantage of all of this development and bring it in the syllabus. Let's teach them. Let's make computer literacy a basic item of the curriculum, where every single person leaving Form 4, for example, is one computer literate, has done something which can help them immediately after their studies.
Yes.
You know, and when you incorporate some of these elements in the curriculum itself, you don't need to create jobs for the people. Jobs will come by themselves, because Kenyans are very enterprising people. They don't need you to create the jobs. Just give them the right skills, create the right environment. They will do things for themselves. And that is, I think, what we need. Yes.
So we simply need to be equipped with all these things. And as we wind up, what words of advice do you have for somebody who's maybe wondering, what career do I choose? And also with regards to somebody who wants to get in the same line of work that you're in, what would you tell them?
Okay, thank you for the question. Where I'd like to begin is to, since I'm at an institution of higher learning today, if you're a student in the university today, I think I have some piece of advice to you, which is, if you go to university or college, it is a large supermarket. It's more of a mall. And you can pick whatever you want, really. That's the thing about a mall. If you want a bike, you get it if you want. sports gear, you get it. If you want chocolate, whatever you want, you get. And that's the thing which no one tells us, that when you go there, you can pick anything, including drug addiction, including early pregnancies, including so much, including radicalization into things you have no idea about. If you're in the university today, I think it is important for you to get into university with something else besides a degree. Being in the university, it's a given you're going to get a degree. I mean, I was looking at my transcripts, and there's some units I got B's and A's without not working so hard. It's a given you're going to graduate if you just do the right things. But it's important for you to leave university with another skill besides just the degree, because those ones are what will determine whether you are the wheat or you're the chaff. Do your best and God will do the rest. I think that is where that's my last piece of advice besides everything else.
Yes. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you.